Are you guys ready for the 2024-25 NBA season? I know I am, and I would really like to do some watch parties with you guys. We need to get our likes up, though. The bosses told me that we don't have enough likes on this channel to warrant doing daily watch parties for the Mavs on every game. I would love to do some watch parties, so like the video. Let's get ready for Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs on opening night, and without further ado, let's hop right into today's show. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. A little bit of a slow time here in the offseason. Mavs Media Day on September 30th, training camp on October 1st. It's a little closer than you think, just about 2 weeks away. But on today's show, I wanted to talk about why I think this is going to be Luka Doncic's best season in his career to date. He's improved every year. This is going into his seventh season, and you look at his career stats, exactly 400 regular season games played, 28.7 points, 8.7 boards, over 8 assists, 47% from the field, and 34.7% from three. And a lot of those numbers are kind of quote-unquote bogged down by what he did in his first year where he averaged about 21 points or so. He's gotten better every single season and has made himself one of the two, if not the best player in the NBA. I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic this year. I really believe he's going to win the MVP. I know I said that last year. He ended up finishing third, which, we can debate whether he should have finished ahead or behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or not, but I think he's in for a really big season, and we'll talk about those reasons why here in just a moment, but I want to get the pulse of what you guys are thinking. Do you believe this will be Luka's best season in the National Basketball Association? Type Y for yes, type N for no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so when you get hit with a YouTube ad break, go on down there and get your votes in. Will this be Luka's best season in the NBA? I really believe it's going to be. Reason number one, I think disappointment's going to fuel him. The Mavs obviously get to the finals for the first time in Luka's career and the first time since 2011, and they came up short. Look, we all know that it wasn't really expected for the Mavs to be there, but once they got there, you expected to win it, and since he's the best player on the team, and he's one of the best players in the league, you know that all his goal coming into every single season is to win a championship. And since he hasn't done that yet, I do think that's going to add some fuel to the fire, especially given his performance in the finals, which you could say wasn't fantastic. And I know that sounds crazy when you take a look at the stats on screen, but we know he wasn't healthy, and we know that the Celtics did do a pretty good job on Luka for the most part, and I think he feels that he could have done a better job in the finals, making it more of a series, giving the Mavs more of a chance to win that Larry O.B., where both him and Kyrie kind of struggled in that series, and they just weren't good enough for the Mavs to win, and I think he'll be the first to admit that. I think this offseason, he's going to be really fueled. He's been working out really hard. He's been over in Europe playing with his national team. 2 weeks after the finals, he was playing with his national team, but working out with his trainers over there. Now he's ready to come back to Dallas, to the Mavericks, and show what he's really made of, and I think the disappointment is going to fuel him the most this offseason. Number two, I think this one's pretty obvious. It's the best roster he's ever had, and it's not even close. Going into last year, we had guys like Grant Williams, Joey Peterson, Tennessee alum, I know that. Grant Williams just wasn't good enough to play on this team. Kudos to Nico Harrison for making those adjustments necessary, but when you look at this roster, this is by far the most talent and most depth he's ever had. I think the starting five of Luka, Kyrie, Washington, Klay Thompson, and Derek Lively is one of the best in the NBA, plain and simple. And then when you look at the bench, you have Daniel Gafford, you have Maxi Kleber, you have Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dante Exum. The Mavs really do have 12-ish players that you can play on any given night. And I know Jason Kidd will want to dwindle that down to probably 10, maybe even 9. But this Mavs team is deep. It's talented, and I think it's one of the best rosters, if not the best roster, in the Western Conference. You can obviously argue the likes of the Denver Nuggets, maybe the likes of, the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, etc. Those teams are really good. I think the Mavs have the best team in the West, and I think it's the best roster Luka's had in his career, which should set him up for a very big season. We'll get to the next two reasons here in just a moment, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you about today's sponsor, which is Prize Picks. Shout out to Prize Picks. We absolutely love them here on Mavericks Today, and they are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you one win on Prize Picks every week in the month of September. That's right, only 1 yard from Caleb Williams gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. That means 4 weeks of free W's. Well, now only 2 weeks because there's about 2 weeks left in September. But also, Prize Picks does put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. I have some season-long projections for you guys that I've shown throughout the summer here. I'm going to go with the more on Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, and Victor Wembanyama points per game. Luka averaged almost 34 points per game last year, so I think that's an easy more. Steph Curry, 27.6. He had a great summer, especially with the Olympics and Team USA. I think he's going to hit the more. And Victor, that would only be a 3-point per game improvement for him. I think he's hitting the more as well. You can ride me or you can fade me. Just make sure you do it with our friends at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Number 3, and I know we have to talk about it, he does need to be more disciplined when it comes to the officials. Luka has a hot temper. I think we all know that. Some of it is warranted because I do not think he gets the calls that other superstars do. I also think he doesn't get the calls that superstars do because he complains so much. Rookie season and second year, pretty good. 5 and 8 in technical fouls. Now, obviously, that was a shortened season in 1920. Now, you take a look at 21, 22, 23, 24. 16 or more every single time. I have 15 last year, but he's been suspended 2 times for technicals, and that's just not good enough when you're a player of his elite stature. You don't see LeBron. You don't see Giannis. You don't see Curry always getting in arguments with the refs. And it is every single game that he has some gripe with the officials. And I'll be the first to admit, I don't think the NBA officials do a very good job either. But if you're in Luka's spot, you can't cost your team points by getting technical fouls and giving the other team free throws. It just can't happen. I would like to see him under 10 technical fouls this year. I think that would be a good benchmark for him. I'm not saying he has to be like complete choir church boy and just not say anything to the officials. I do think he needs to tone it down a bit. Maybe in turn, the officials will give him a little more respect. Maybe he'll get some of the calls that he otherwise wouldn't get and get to the line a couple of more times a game, which could be the difference between winning and losing a basketball game if you're the Mavs, and in turn could be a difference between being the 4 seed or being the 3 seed for the Mavs. So I really believe that this has to be a point of emphasis for both Luka and the Mavericks staff to hold him accountable and try to keep his emotions in check. I want to hear what you guys think, though. 9.5 technical fouls on Luka Doncic this year. More or less. Type M for more, type L for less. Shout out PrizePicks, more or less. I'm going to take the more. I don't think he's going to be much more disciplined than he was this year. I think it's something that us Mavs fans are just going to have to live with. He's going to complain to the officials. A lot of the times, like I said, I do think he's right, but there's some times, man, where you just have to let it go, and because you're not going to win the argument. The ref is going to win, but let me know what y'all think. More or less than 9.5 technicals for Luka this year. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would help us get to 30,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I checked right before we started filming this video. We are 18 subs away. Do it for my guy, Seth Curry. The Mavs didn't treat him right. They traded him away a couple of times and let him sign with Portland in free agency. He loves the Mavs. We love Seth. Help us get to 30K subscribers. We love to do all types of content here on the Mavs, whether it's news, rumors, watch parties, etc. I'm a lifelong Mavs fan. Joey's a lifelong Mavs fan. Hit that subscribe button and join the ride. Last and not least, I think his workload does have to decrease. Luka's usage rate last year was astronomical, and if the Mavs are going to go on another run like they did, they need him to stay a little bit more healthy than he was last year. We know in the postseason, he was really banged up, and there were times where it looked like he wasn't even going to play. He obviously played in every postseason game he was available for it. There were things that he just simply couldn't do, and it resulted in a disappointing performance in the NBA Finals. Look, I think Luka has, for the most part last year, he stayed healthy. He played in 70 games. They had to manage a couple of things here and there. They need him to be healthy and fresh heading into the postseason so he can have a healthy postseason. Imagine what he would have done if he was, you're never going to be 100% at that time of year, but imagine what he would have done if he was 80%. He was playing basically at 50% throughout the entire postseason. He was really good, especially in that Minnesota Timberwolves series, which put the Mavs in the finals. But they need a healthy and firing Luka into the postseason next year. And I think they're going to get that because they're going to have the likes of Klay Thompson to pick up the scoring load. Kyrie will hopefully play in more than 55 games. You'll have nights where Jaden Hardy can step up. You'll have nights where PJ Washington can step up and score 20 points. So I think the Mavs will do a better job of that this year, given their more talented and deep roster. I asked you at the beginning, and I want to ask you right now, will this be Luka's best season in the NBA? Let me know once again. Type Y for yes or type N for no. And please, again, be sure to hit that sub button. We are so close to 30,000 subscribers, and I would love to keep doing videos with you guys. And we'll see you soon here on Mavericks Today.